Hey there, everybody. I'm Eric Osberg, the Rural Rebound Initiative Coordinator for Otter Tail County, and we're back with another Rural by Choice conversation. And today I have Mindi Larson, who is the Program Manager for Evelate in Perham, Minnesota. How are you doing today, Mindi?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. So, tell us your story. Like you were you born and raised, like did you spend time in Otter Tail County as a young person and then move away and come back, or how did you end up living where you live?
Yeah, well, I hope this doesn't make me any enemies, but I actually grew up in Becker County, so I hope that's okay that I'm here.
Totally cool.
I actually am a native of Lake Park, Minnesota, so I graduated from Lake Park Audubon in 2001. Found my way to the big city of Fargo to go to college. And I never left. I was there for a number of years. I met my husband there. We started our family there. We were there. I was there for 21 years. I lived in West Fargo, spent some time in Fargo, ended up, before we moved back this direction, we lived in North Moorhead. I worked for a large property management company for a majority of my years there, managing, I'd say right before I left, somewhere around 3,300 apartments in the greater FM area. What a very interesting career. I do pride myself on being a pretty excellent problem solver. When you have that many people living in buildings and that many employees and things like that, it makes for a very colorful work day. But you know, as our parents were getting a little bit older, my husband is a native of New York Mills. So we kind of met somewhere in the middle when we decided to move back here. We chose Perham because I think on the weekends we spent a lot of time in the Otter Tail Lakes area, primarily in Perham. And I remember we'd bring our camper down and we'd camp and we'd spend time with friends and family. And every Sunday when we had to go back, I remember being really sad that I had to leave the lake to go back home to Moorhead to go back to work and our daughter to go back to school. And we always just felt sad that we had to leave on Sunday. So now, I actually just said this on this last Sunday. I told my husband we went to the grocery store. I said, "Oh, it's Sunday. We don't have to feel sad. We get to stay here." And so, so far it has been a fantastic transition, and it is nice to be closer. I have a brother in Bluffton. I have a brother in Detroit Lakes. I have a sister in Holly. His brother is in New York Mills. So it does feel really nice to be back by our siblings, by our parents, by lots of aunts and uncles and things. So it's fun. It's been fun to get to be auntie quite a lot more since so much of my family is close by. So yeah.
So how long ago did you guys pull the trigger? How long have you lived here?
Yeah. So I left my job in August of 22. I'm a very spontaneous person. I tend to just take action, and my husband's a little more calculated. So I think I'm the spice of life for him. I left my job. We said, well, it's now or never. I think if we've been talking about moving to Perm for a couple of years, and finally I said, well, the time is now. If we're going to do it, we better do it. So I left my job. We got our house ready to go on the market, and we had it listed in 6 days. 9 days later, our house sold. Spent some time couch surfing back and forth while we got down here before our house that we purchased here in Perm we could close on. We had to get our daughter down here to start school and to get going on volleyball practice at her new school. So those couple of months were really chaotic, but it all ended quite well for us, and we've been really happy ever since then. So yeah, a career change is really what sparked it for us. I'd say too, for us, both being kids from small towns, my husband and I, we didn't necessarily know how to navigate a bigger school system and feel as comfortable with it as we did as our daughter was getting into those teenage years. So even for her, this has been such a good move for her, and she's really enjoying the smaller class sizes, smaller schools, more attention from teachers when she needs it. Sports is a big part of our life, so it's been really fun to see her excel on a really great team and a really good school system like Perham has. So we're very fortunate for that. We're so happy to be here. So yeah, it's been great.
So did you have the gig lined up with Evelate before you left, or did you come here and then find the opportunity at Evelate?
I'd say it was a perfect storm of sorts. I knew about Evelate when I had first gotten here, probably in August. We had talked about maybe just coming to the team as sort of an ambassador or an elevator is what we were going to call the role, where I would just learn about the program and really be able to go into the community and promote it and advocate for the positive work that the program does. But in that time frame, there was some position changes and some exits and some position openings, and it just so happened to work out that the timing was perfect for that too. So truly, like, there really weren't many hiccups from the time we decided to make this move to finding our home, to getting registered for school. Everybody here was so kind and so welcoming and very accommodating to us. And yeah, no, it was no different for my transition here to Perm Health, where the grant Evelate grant program is through. So everything was pretty seamless for us. So yeah, it was really just timing was everything for us. So yeah.
So tell us about Evelate. If somebody hasn't heard of Evelate or doesn't know what Evelate does, how do you describe why Evelate exists and what you guys do?
Yes. So Evelate, I'm very fortunate again. Evelate existed and was created. So the structure was there before I arrived. So Evelate is a grant-based program through Perm Health. The grant comes from Leading Age Minnesota. Our goal is to keep people active and healthy in our communities as they age. So we are based in Perham. We serve about a 20-mile radius around Perham. We do anything from social events, ways for people to try an exploratory class, to try something new. We have flexible work options. So there's kind of 4 pillars. So it's flexible work options, social events, volunteerism is a big pillar for us. And then we have health resources. So we have a RN care coordinator at Perham Health named Jean Tobkin, who meets with patients. And if there's something that they're needing, maybe they need to be a little more physically active, maybe they are isolated at home, she will send their information to our team here at Evelate, and we will reach out to that person and say, hey, what would you like to try? You should come and join us for lunch. Maybe you want to come to one of our upcoming events or classes. We just want people to know that we all have to age. And we just do it better if we're together, and we do it better if we provide a level of a community approach to be together and get through life together and try have fun and stay active. So yeah.
And how long has Evelate been in existence?
Yeah, the Evelate program was created around 2021. We had some adventures in COVID through that time. But again, like, I was so fortunate that the structure was there. The pillars were established. We knew what we wanted the program to do. I just happened to be the lucky one to be the one to put the rubber to the road and really, start to see, what do we want it to become? How do we grow it? That's been a fun challenge for me to figure those things out in a community that at that time I didn't know very many people here. I didn't know what existed. So again, that was kind of a blessing in disguise for me to really be able to put myself out there and learn what was in my community, because I needed to know to help people navigate what was here as well. So our first event we held in January of 2023. It was a beginner yoga class at our local yoga studio, and 3 people came. I was thrilled. I couldn't have been happier to see 3 faces show up for my first event in a job I was new at and in a community I was new in. And we just kept going. We just kept having conversations. We just kept meeting with church groups, schools, any organization that would listen to what our mission was. And it was really just to help people stay active and engaged in their community as they move through life. So it's been a wild ride to see what people are interested in and what things people aren't so interested in. And the nerves behind all of that is what really keeps me going with this, because I'm so curious how many people will come or what will work. And it's really neat to see some of the success stories that come from the patients that we're helping at Perham Health. Whether it's somebody not being sure how they're going to heat their home when their firewood runs out. Somebody is looking for a companion animal because has recently passed away. Like, I love the approach that we have through Perham Health to really be able to have our healthcare follow them home, and have for people to understand, like, we care more about you than when you're injured or sick or you need a different prescription or a medication. This is so much more than that. Of course, all of those things are so very important, but this is so much more than that. And to know, like, we do care where your next meal is going to come from, and we do want to make sure that you have somebody to talk to, or that you do know that there's a place that you can come and have a hot meal with us Monday through Thursday. It's just been such a rewarding job and such a rewarding program. And it's so fun to work on the team here and really see some of these fantastic success stories coming from Perham Health and coming from our community members. It's pretty rewarding work.
Sure. And so the first event was 3 people at yoga.
Yes.
What's and I'm not, and you can cherry pick if you want, and I
Yeah,
don't need
yeah.
exact numbers, but like when you do these different events, what type of attendance are you seeing now? Have you seen?
You know, I think we felt like we were at a top of a mountain when we had a Medicare. We kicked off a series called Mastering Medicare, and 100 people came to learn about the top 10 Medicare mistakes. That was a pretty big deal. You know, I'd say if I had to think of something that I feel probably most proud of with the program is something that we've created called Elevating Voices. And that is a choir here that we get together here in Perham. We get together for 8 weeks every Tuesday. And our choir is made up of people with any form of memory loss, their care partners, and then volunteers that want to come. It's a choir. We meet from 2 to 4 every Tuesday for 8 weeks. We sing for an hour. And then, of course, there is no gathering in Minnesota that can happen without a cup of coffee and some type of a sweet treat. So we do solve the world's problems and socialize for an hour, and then we're on our way and we come back together every week for 8 weeks. At the end of the 8 weeks, we put on a community concert. So all are welcome. We put out some invitations and we hope everyone will come and hear all the hard work has paid off in our concert. And that was really fun to see that church congregation area filled with people coming to support the choir. So that is just truly so magical. The power of music for people with memory loss, Alzheimer's and dementia, and any form of memory loss. It's just so special to see how that impacts them, and to see them come together and socialize and know that the people in the room all understand what each other is going through or what they're living in the moment. It's a pretty neat thing to see and to be a part of. So we're so fortunate. We actually have the 7th choir of that nature in the state of Minnesota. So we're really proud to have that here with us in Perham. So yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yes. Our attendance last year for 2023, we had just over 2,500 people engaged in the program in some way, shape, or form. So our little yoga class from event number 1, I still am eternally thankful to Be Still Yoga for jumping on board and taking a chance on a lady with a wild idea. And from there, those exploratory classes have, we're all over the board with those. We have done art classes, watercolor painting. We made beer steins at Disgruntled. We've been at the Sportsman's Club learning how to understand handgun safety, and some ladies that had never shot a gun before were able to give that a try. So we just keep putting out some educational ideas, some physical activities, some health, to keep people moving and shaking with their bodies. And some of our ideas are wild and crazy because I think that's kind of what keeps this fun and entertaining. So we're up for anything over here. So yeah, we're having a good time, and it's really fun to see this come to life in our community and have more and more people embracing it every day.
For sure, and we're fortunate to have you guys doing it.
Yeah.
Before we end here,
Sure.
And this is, I don't want you to give away your absolute favorite hit. What I want to ask is about hidden gems, right? Like there's assets in communities that are well known, or I think of Perham, and there's a ton of assets in Perham, but have you found any hidden gems that you wish more people knew about in Perham or the surrounding area?
Great question. I don't know if they're hidden gems, but I just think that there are some things that are just so fascinating that I've learned through the time in this job. And, I think about some things that were probably the most exciting to talk about at the dinner table at home, that in the evenings after I had gone and taken groups certain places. The Resource and Recovery Center in Perham, how that all functions, and we're turning our counties and counties and counties worth of garbage into fuel. Like, how fascinating and how cool is that? I also think we had the Otter Tail County Canine Unit come to the library in New York Mills to show us his dog. And if you ever want to get a small town talking, have the canine unit come to the local library. That's really where all of the good stories, start. That was really interesting. We had somebody come from Tri-State Diving. I think that's out of Detroit Lakes, but really interesting how that whole thing works. It's so neat. I'm certain they spent a good bit of time in Otter Tail County this winter with our mild temperatures and all the things happening with our lakes. But yeah, we're so lucky to have so many neat things. We've done some art classes in New York Mills at the Cultural Center. Betsy and Cheryl do such a fantastic job there, and how neat to have something like that in our communities. And yeah, if there are more places that are interested in getting involved with Evelate, whether it's a tour of what you have in your community or a great restaurant that would want to host a dinner, if you have any type of art or hobby that you would like to have a group come and learn about, we are your people. We would love to connect and work with anybody in our communities that would like to showcase the work that they're doing here. I think we're so lucky. There's so much here. I think the list is endless. So
for sure. And so along those lines, if somebody is interested in participating, as a participant in
Yes.
Evelate, or how do people get in touch with you or your team or get involved? What are some ways to contact you?
Yeah, so we do have a website. So it's just elevateotc.org. Our email address is very simple. It's connect@elevateotc.org. We have Facebook, Instagram. You can always message us. We're very active there as well. I would say, honestly, a good call to action is if you are here and you are needing, volunteerism is a huge platform for us. If you have an event or you have frequent events that you're in need of volunteers, we'd love to try to see what we can do to help you get some more people coming and helping with their time and talent to give to whatever you've got going on. We do some flexible work options on our website. So if you are looking for a flexible part-time position, you're looking for an employee, we'd love to try to help with some of that. But again, if you have a facility that we could tour with a group to see how it all operates, or you have a business or something of that nature that you'd like to do some classes, like we're always looking for new opportunities and new things to do here in Otter Tail County. So we're your people. We're ready to go. So we should connect.
Okay. And anything else you think is important about that people should know about living in Otter Tail County or moving to Otter Tail County or Evelate itself? Just anything else that you want to make sure that people know?
Get out in your communities. There is so much to offer. If you're not sure what's here, find our website. Our website has a full calendar. It doesn't just have Evelate events. We pull in calendars from all over the place. Otter Tail Lakes Country magazine and website, social media is a fantastic another place to connect for things like that. Grab your neighbor that you think maybe hasn't left home in a little while. Get them out, get them with you. Check on your neighbors and get them to jump in and join you in certain places. I think it's so important, and truly, there's nothing more powerful than the human connection. So grab a friend, bring them with you, and get them out in the communities and enjoying. We are so lucky to live here, and it's a good reminder to get people out and enjoying the fun.
All right. Well, thanks again for all that you do.
Of
Yeah, and thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.